The warming rays of the sun have only been above the horizon for a short time on this chilly November morning. The dairy herd has been fed, bedded, and milked, and the milking machines washed and hung ready for the milking that evening. All of this done before the first rays even had a chance to touch the top of the silo, the tallest structure on the farm in the little valley. The only sounds heard were the rumbling rhythmic din of the diesel engine as it powered the cooling compressor, chilling the morning's milk, and an occasional lowing of a cow or two. A warm breakfast is waiting, but a quick check of the phone messages has put a damper on any thoughts of a relaxing breakfast with the family waiting inside in the beckoning warmth of the old farmhouse. The custom grain roaster, traveling from farm to farm with his propane tank, diesel generator, and drum roaster, expected mid-morning, has had a change of plans and would be arriving much earlier than scheduled. Such is the life of a farmer. Breakfast must now be a hasty endeavor, and he thought it best to at least get one grain cart out of the equipment shed and ready to go before heading in. Once inside and washed up, a prayer preceded and followed the quickly eaten breakfast. The three youngest daughters, 6 to 12 years old, donned their sweaters, grabbed their backpacks, and scurried out the door to their colorful scooters. The half-mile morning scoot would take them down their lane, a neighbor's lane, and the road uphill to their familiar one-room schoolhouse. If they got there early enough, there'd be time to play before the school bell rang. The oldest daughter, 1 year out of school, was expected at a neighbor's farm to help out after the arrival of a baby girl just days before. She followed her sisters out the door just moments later. The farmer scooped up his 2-year-old son and headed back outside, and none too soon. The custom roaster was just now heading up the hill to an area just beyond the dairy barn. As he followed the truck and trailer, he was glad he got one cart ready at least. Custom roasters run on a pretty tight schedule during the harvest season, and a delay on one farm causes delays right on down the line. The soybean roasting should go quicker this year, as the dairy herd has been partially sold off over the past few months, and action pondered over with angst and sadness. Milk prices have been trending downward, in excess of 25% compared to prices just in the past summertime. The farmer and his wife have decided it was time to diversify into another endeavor to help shield the family from the seemingly endless cycle of boom and bust. There was a time in the not-too-distant past that most Amish families in the county supported themselves as dairy farmers. Families lived together and worked together, and long-standing traditions were more easily followed. All of that, sadly to say, is far from the norm today. Less than 30% of Amish families in the county today support themselves by farming. Such is the life of the farmer. Enough about that for now. The soybean roaster operator has the diesel generator running and the roaster up to the proper temperatures. A longer, more in-depth video about the roasting process will be forthcoming in the weeks ahead. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell if you haven't done so already. Heck, while you're at it, smack the like button and drop a comment. All are free and greatly appreciated. Fall is definitely a busy time of year on any farm. I think I see our neighbor with his gorgeous team of well-muscled Belgians working in a nearby field. These beauties are just half of the Belgians he has on his farm. A few young ones will be sold later this winter. I can't wait to video some of the training before they head to the auction block. It appears that he's nearly done seeding the cover crop this morning already. He must have gotten a pretty early start. That little terrier out ahead of the team likes to lead a life right on the edge. What do you think? Would the horses stop before trampling the little guy? I think we best get back to the other farm and make sure that roasting is still going smoothly. The last of the roasted beans are out of the drum. Time to get them back under cover and let them cool. This little guy here has had a bird's eye view of the operation. The custom roaster and his equipment are barely out the lane before a tractor trailer makes its way to the yard. Let's see what's going on with that. Ah, he's here to pick up a load of furniture. So now we know what their other financial endeavor is going to be: furniture making. These pieces are heading to a retailer in Indiana. The driver has a few other stops before heading westward. Perhaps we will get to see a bit of furniture making before the day is over. But for now, the morning is over and it's time for lunch. While the new meal is eaten, let's check over at the school. It should just about be recess time. The sky after a sunny start has gotten gray. It's supposed to be getting sunny again later in the afternoon. The farmer hopes so. He wants to mow the corn fodder that was left behind after the corn was picked a few days ago. I think I see the scholars running around the schoolyard down there. Let's leave the young ones to their play. You know, when I pass schoolhouses like this, I often think school consolidation back in the middle of the last century wasn't altogether a good thing, especially for the mental health of our young people. Lunch is over and it's time to begin the afternoon work. Lunch was a bit shorter today with the work needing to be done in the shorter days upon us. One horse and a few mules have to be harnessed and hitched to the flail mower. The corn fodder is going to be shredded and baled for bedding. With fewer cows this year, about 100 bales will be sold to a neighbor. It's important to keep the animals hydrated, even on chilly days like today. By this time today, the farmer has been up for almost 10 hours, and there's still plenty to be done. Such is the life of the farmer.
I had a nice deer story to say yesterday.
How about you? You ready?
You can see to the right a cart of roasted soybeans still steaming from the morning roasting.
It was really good. I'd say like 12 or 13 is maybe more of an average. Especially these beans, we get $1 premium for these beans.
There's a lot of trust between a farmer and his animals. Standing in between the horses and implement is a dangerous position to be in. Staying alert is still very important though. The white mule is always ready to get going. Many non-horse people don't understand the psyche of draft animals. They love to pull and they love to work. Most Amish do not own every implement they need. Often needed pieces are owned by many different farmers. Renting out owned equipment is common. Since farmers are independent contractors, there are many tax forms exchanged in January for tax purposes. Rental income is claimed, as well as expenses in renting. Flail mowing these fields is going to take a couple hours, which is pretty much going to shoot the daylight hours this afternoon. Watch for a forthcoming longer and more detailed video on flail mowing that you see here. I was able to get some interesting footage. By the time the mowing was completed, the sun was low in the sky. There was still a bit of time before supper, so it was to the shop to work on a special order. Here, a couple of oak bookcases are being specially made for a teacher in a local Mennonite school. A parent of some of the children attending there has put in the order. Before solar power became more widely accepted in this settlement, power tools like these were run off air pressure. Pneumatic table saws, radial arm saws, chop saws, and the like were commonplace. By the time supper had ended, darkness had fallen over the farm. It was now milking time. Every day, twice a day, 365 days a year, the girls have to be milked. No matter how sick the farmer is, no matter how tired the farmer is, this is one chore that can never be put off. Such is the life of a farmer. A young lad from a neighboring farm is hired here one day a week. It gives the young person a chance to work for another person besides Dad. It also allows him to perhaps work on different types of equipment. Not all hired lads, though, come from farm life. This allows those boys a chance to learn a lot of new skills. Here, we will watch as the feed for this evening is mixed. Hay, roasted soybeans, silage, minerals, and perhaps molasses will be mixed in the big hopper. This is a readout of the number of pounds of feed that are in the mixer right now. The mixer is PTO driven. This tractor supplies the power. What is harvested from the fields will go back on the fields.
bigger wheel.
I think I'm hearing the powered feed cart. For many Amish farmers, gone are the days of using a wheelbarrow. It's a myth that's been perpetuated by the tourist industry, Hollywood, authors, etc., that all Amish shun all forms of technology. That is far from reality. While the Old Order Amish of Lancaster County are considered more progressive than some groups of Amish, like the Schwarzentruber in Nebraska, all Amish have adopted practices and technology over the decades and centuries. No one is farming like their ancestors in the old country. What is true, though, about all the Amish is that they adopt new things in a very deliberate and measured way. For example, this method of milking is what was common most everywhere in the 50s, 60s, and 70s across the United States. Today, the Amish are still using that method.
Lick your shaft foot to the... Lick your shaft foot. Lick it.
At least one of the girls helps Dad in the barn during milking time. There's nothing prissy about the girls in this family. They are some of the nicest, down-to-earth, polite children I have ever known. And this young lady here, she's been known to squirt milk on a certain YouTuber. Here's a close-up of the feed that was mixed earlier. The precise proportions used was worked up by the dairy nutritionist that's been hired. Can you tell this young lady loves her kittens? I don't think there's an animal that she doesn't love. The milking is nearing an end. The eldest daughter is back from the neighbors. She's going to put the horse and mules in for the night. No one wants to chase a bunch of mules across the county if something spooks them out of the pasture. You will notice how fast she gets out of the way. A 1,500-pound mule or 2,000-pound horse can do a lot of damage to a body. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and leave a comment. Share with your friends and family. Hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell if you already haven't. All of that is absolutely free. I know the family will appreciate it. While the girls clean up the milking machines, Dad still has time to work in the shop on those bookcases.